Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Tuesday, January 30th, basketball slate for us. Tons of games in college, 5-game NBA slate. We're all over the NBA, and we've got a few bangers in college as well, so we will get to those and get you started. So a lot of games at the 5 o'clock Phoenix time, 7 o'clock East. First one we're going to hop on is going to be Texas Tech's TCU. TCU been strong throughout this Big 12 conference. Pushed KU to the brink. Had some other nice wins. We like TCU in this Battle of Texas Schools matchup. So we will take TCU in this one. Minus 2.5 first half. Minus 5.5 for the game. One more time, TCU minus 2.5 first half, minus 5.5 for the game. Next game up for us is going to be Marquette Villanova, the Big East battle. This has been the home teams tend to win these every time in this conference. So Marquette started off as a top 10 team, made a big stride when they beat KU. And then have hit the skids a little bit once they got to conference play as they've dropped down to almost 14th, 15th in the country. So we do like Villanova. This is our favorite college game today. Minus a half first half, minus 1.5 for the game. So one more time, Villanova minus a half first half, minus 1.5 for the game. Then we will get on to Dayton against George Washington. Dayton, the best team in the AAC, best defense and best offense. Therefore, that's why they're a 12.5-point favorite tonight. Do not be scared of this number. Dayton's been clipping folks and blowing out folks. So we like Dayton here. They've been blowing folks out on the road as well. So we do like Dayton minus 7.5 first half, minus 12.5 for the game. One more time, Dayton minus 7.5 first half, minus 12.5 for the game. And then our last college game is going to be K-State, who's been on an absolute skid at home, but somehow are a 2.5-point favorite against a ranked Oklahoma team. Anybody smell a trap? That's right. And we're going to stay out of the trap and play the K-State portion. Unranked home team versus favored versus ranked team. The typical betting spot, especially in college basketball and college football. Take the K-State, lay the points, don't be scared. K-State minus 1.5 first half. Minus 2.5 for the game. One more time, K-State minus 1.5 first half, minus 2.5 for the game. Now we'll get into the slate of NBA games. We've got, I think a total of 5. Right? Should be, a total of 5 games in the NBA tonight. Sorry, the computer was for some reason putting on yesterday's games. I wish we could bet those and go back and bet all those, right? We'd have a monster parlay. Anyway, we'll get started. We've got basically one game at 5:30, 2 at 5:40. So all three basically same starting time. Pacers, Celtics. Halliburton's supposed to be back tonight. Pacers getting 8 at the Celtics. 245.5, 245 total, depending on where you're at. This game should be up and down like crazy. The Pacers love to run, obviously. The Celtics love to run as well. I think their offense clicks more when they're running. They tend to definitely, they get more wide open 3 looks, and they shoot I think more threes than anybody else in the NBA. It might change the last couple of days, but they shoot a ton of threes. Both teams will try to light it up from 3-point range. We do like the over in this particular matchup. These games have been close, so we don't expect anybody to blow out and sit. So we will take Celtics Pacers over 61.5 first quarter, over 123.5 first half, over 245 for the game. Drew Holiday over 13.5 points, over 1.5 threes, over 24.5 par for Drew. Miles Turner, Halliburton's supposed to be back tonight, so we go back to Miles Turner again, over 15.5 points. If Halliburton doesn't play, I will tell you this right now, if you're sitting on this game till later, if Halliburton doesn't play, stay away from Turner. He is 2 different players when Halliburton's in the lineup. Then we've got Jaylen Brown over 1.5 threes, as there should be plenty of open 3-point opportunities tonight. Halliburton over 10.5 assists. I don't expect this number to stay at 10.5 for long. Some places don't even have props out for Halliburton. He is a game-time decision, but expected to play. Jason Tatum over 2.5 turnovers. He only had 7 the last game, so we're only asking for 3. in this one here. So one more time, Celtics Pacers over 61.5 first quarter, over 123.5 first half, over 245 for the game. Drew Holiday over 13.5 points, over 1.5 threes, and over 24.5 par. Miles Turner over 15.5 points. Jaylen Brown over 1.5 threes. Halliburton over 10.5 assists, and Jason Tatum over 2.5 turnovers, and that was plus money after just giving up, just having 7 in the game prior. Next game up, Jazz at the Knicks. Both teams coming off a back-to-back. The one thing is the Jazz had rest because they didn't play anybody in the fourth quarter due to the fact they got their doors blown off by the Nets. Not really a travel day. Stay basically in the same city, just going to Madison Square Garden from Brooklyn, where the Knicks had to travel. Going from Charlotte, they couldn't have laid more bricks in that game, in that Charlotte game, if they want to. So a couple things happened to the Knicks in the last game. They covered, yes, but DiVincenzo had a monster due to the fact that there was no OG Anunoby and no Julius Randle. We know there's going to be no Randle tonight. OG is still game time decision. We hope he plays. I think this helps our efforts even more by having an additional scorer on the floor. Otherwise, it involves a lot of Jalen Brunson and DiVincenzo. And Brunson's numbers are huge, and DiVincenzo's numbers are bigger than, hell, anytime he's ever started in the league. So in this one, we do like the total in this game is going to where we're attacking at that 229 number. We are going over 56.5 first quarter, over 112.5 first half, over 229 for the game. Sexton over 18.5 points and over 5.5 assists for the Jazz. DiVincenzo over 19.5 points and over 3.5 threes as he is launching them from all over the place. You just watch just roll back that Hornets footage. You'll see what I'm talking about. Markkanen over 23.5 points, over 2.5 threes, over 34.5 par. Sexton is the primary ball handler now, so getting a lot more turnovers, so over 1.5 turnovers. Jalen Brunson over 43.5 par. He did hit 43 last night in a game where they did not shoot well. And then we've also got, let's see here, Jazz over the 113.5 team total. Knicks over the 117.5 team total. So we'll get through all this again here for you. Jazz Knicks over 56.5 first quarter, over 112.5 first half, over 229 for the game. Sexton over 18.5 points, over 5.5 assists, over 1.5 turnovers. Markkanen over 23.5 points, over 2.5 threes, and over 34.5 par. Brunson over 43.5 par. DiVincenzo over 19.5 points, over 3.5 threes. And then the Knicks over 117.5 team total, and the Jazz over 113.5 team total, both at plus money. I just think this game's going to go quite a bit over on this one. So therefore, bringing in both the team totals as well. Next game up is going to be Lakers at the Hawks. So I don't know how the Hawks are favored against anybody, and the way that the lines look, it looks like they think AD is not going to play in this game on there. The Hawks favored by 6. I know LA's coming off a back-to-back. Atlanta is the worst team against the spread in the league, so I'm going to take the 6 and take my chances. It's been a pretty profitable season betting against the Hawks, so on that retrospect. So we'll take the Lakers plus 1.5 first quarter, plus 3.5 first half, plus 6 for the game. I think Austin Reeves is going to get a bunch of looks, so we'll take Austin Reeves over 16.5 points, over 1.5 threes, and LeBron over 3.5 turnovers. At the end of every show that we do in the comments section, there will be a link to our, what we call our Google Sheets, which is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we get that at, how many units, and what book we place that at. Make sure you check it out, especially for this game here. I expect to see some movement on those lines, and we'll probably add some player props in there. I really want to attack AD if he's gonna play here. So we're just waiting for those to pop up. That'll be later on today. So like I said, do make sure you check out those Google Sheets. Once you link in there the first time, you can link in there anytime you want to view those. So and catch any updated bets that we might have. Next game up, Raptors at the Bulls. RJ Barrett going to be out again for the Raptors. The Bulls have been, this show's probably kryptonite so far this year, but we're going to take the Raptors. They are getting 6.5. The Bulls are tough to figure out, a little inconsistent, and a lot of that has to do with, I think, the lineup. It changes quite a bit often as well. Kobe White's had a pretty good year. DeMar DeRozan's done what he's done for the last, 5-7 years. No change a lot there. Just the Bulls are kind of It looks like they're in mid-change between a team that really wants to push the pace versus a team that kind of plays back and plays defense. They don't play as much defense anymore, so a little tougher to read. The book's kind of all over the board on them as well. Total on this one's 226. We are going to, like I said, ride the Raptors here. Even though R.J. Barrett is out, Quickly's a game-time decision. Scotty Barnes, I think this is part of the year where he's really going to take this team over. He is the face of this franchise. He is what they're building around on that, so we'll ride with that. Raptors plus 1.5 first quarter, plus 3.5 first half, plus 6.5 for the game. Scotty Barnes over 23.5 points, over 1.5 threes. He didn't take a lot of threes the last game, if any at all. I expect him to take 3 to 4 threes here and to drain 2 of those. Barnes over 38.5 par, and then DeRozan over 1.5 turnovers. So one more time, Raptors plus 1.5 first quarter, plus 3.5 first half, plus 6.5 for the game. Barnes over 23.5 points, over 1.5 threes, over 38.5 par, and DeRozan over 1.5 turnovers. Next game up, or in the last game of the night, 76ers at the Warriors. 76ers, Embiid's been out the last couple. Tyrese Maxey out as well. They can't score. With those two guys out, you're talking about 70 points a game, or 60 points a game plus, and it definitely shows when they don't play. And when Embiid doesn't play, the 76ers rarely win anyway. So the Warriors, I know, understand, have struggled so far this season and are just a smidge below 500 at home, but not against a team that's missing its 2 top players. Now, if Embiid's going to play and Maxey's going to play, this line's going to jump. So we're going to, and if they're not playing, it's also going to jump the other way. So they're kind of hedging right in the middle at the moment. The book is. So we'll try to take advantage of that. Only having to lay 3.5. We're still live if Embiid plays and Maxey plays. And if Embiid's knee is actually hurt or sore, then that's even better. Maybe if he does play, he can't even, have as many points as he normally would. So Warriors -1 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -1 third quarter, and -3.5 for the game. If you follow us all the time, you'll notice that third quarter bet's a little different. The Warriors are pretty solid in the third. Draymond Green over 24.5 par, Kuminga over 19.5 points. Draymond Green over 2.5 blocks, 2+ blocks. Can't talk. Draymond Green, 2+ blocks. 76ers under 116.5 team total. So we're going to bet that Joel Embiid does not play here on this. Maybe sits another one on this road trip. So 116 is a monster for them to climb if he's not in the lineup. So one more time, Warriors -1 first quarter, -1.5 first half, -1 third quarter, and -3.5 for the game. Draymond Green over 24.5 points. How about we start that one over again? Draymond Green over 24.5 par, points, assists, rebounds combined. Kuminga over 19.5 points. Draymond Green, 2+ blocks, and then 76ers under the 116.5 team total. I did mention it a couple times before in this episode. Make sure you do check out the comments section of every show that we do. It'll be a link to the Google page. This is a list of all of our bets, what juice we got them at, how many units we placed, and then obviously also what book we placed those at. So do make sure when you check that out. Also, if you're into football as well, we do have some Super Bowl bets that we've already placed. If you want to check what we've got out so far, of course we didn't take a value bet on the coin toss, but we always bet the coin toss every year at the Super Bowl. Kind of might as well have a little fun with it as well on top of the rest of the bets. So if you want to check those out, feel free to do so. As we've already got, looks like about 9-10 bets already for the Super Bowl coming out there. And as always, make sure you subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel. So when we drop our bets, you get those first. Makes life really simple to find us once you hit that subscribe button and then turn notifications on for YouTube. You'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode worth of bets. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.